folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Usagi Yojimbo 10,000 Plums, issue 5 by Dark Horse. Now, there is fighting and death in this one, so if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here's the team. So, finally I received the last issue of 10,000 Plums. I was very pleased about that because I finally completed the story. Okay, so when we left off, Usagi, Yokichi, and their three new friends in issue 4, they were continuing on the pilgrimage to the statue of the Konana, or the one that is supposed to be I forget her, a Virgin Mary, a Virgin Mary and baby Jesus, who they how they hid her in the Tibetan religion, not Tibetan, and Buddhism, all over the place with that. So yeah, they were on their way to the statue because from the tears that it cries, it can heal anything. Now on their way to it, they've come across another checkpoint, and they were told, and some old lady in front of them was said, "You can't pass." So we're here now. The lady is begging. But I said, no, you have to pay 10 zen. I don't know what the equivalent to other currency would be, but I imagine it's high. And he says, if you don't pay, you cannot pass here. And Usagi and Yokichi go forward. They have Masa, Tabu, and Asao with them. They go forward. And it's immediately clear that this isn't a checkpoint by any royal guards, like it was in the first one. This one has been set up by bandits who want to take money from people while they're on this pilgrimage. Because Usagi approaches and he recognizes one of the bandits who attacked Masa and his brother Tabu. So he goes to them. He says, I recognize you, and their leader says, because that bandit tells him that Usagi and Yokichi are serious. So he tells them, the leader tells him, okay, you and your party can pass no problem. But Usagi's like, what about all these other ones? And he says, no, and then, of course, Usagi doesn't agree with it. And he's like, well, what do you care about this samurai? But then they start fighting. The leader of the band's like, we outnumber you by a lot. And Usagi and Yokichi start fighting them. They don't unsafe their swords at first. And they're pretty much beating them out. The leader goes to attack Usagi. Usagi's like, okay, this is your idea, wasn't it? He's like, yeah, I came up with the gate idea. So then Usagi unsafes his sword and starts to attack him. The leader of the band's like, oh, I made a mistake. And he falls. He wants to grab his katana again, or his sword. But then Usagi yells at him, don't touch that sword. He's about to hurt him, but then Tabu suddenly runs in front, and he's standing in front of the bandit. He's like, no, Usagi, you can't do that. And Usagi's like, Tabu, this is a bandit. We need to surrender him to the authorities so he'll be executed. And Tabu's like, no, we're all the children of... he doesn't say we're all the children of God, but he means, we're all good. And The bandit's not gonna do anything. So Usagi's like, okay, you will take down this, checkpoint, this barricade. But if we come across you again next time, we won't be so lenient. They're basically lucky that Tabu was there. And the bandits are like, yes, of course. And they all run to remove the barricades. So that's it. They keep going. They finally reach the statue. It is much smaller than Usagi thought it would be. And Masa tells him, well, miracles come in all the sizes, Usagi-san. So yeah, there's a lot of people there. They're surrounding the statue. There's even merchants going around trying to, selling food and water to all the people. And a bit before that, someone who looks suspicious approaches Usagi and tells him, oh, would you like to buy some of these, the Tears of the Mother? I have them here. And Usagi said, do you? And he said, don't I look trustworthy? And Usagi's like, dead-faced, no. And he's like, and he leaves. And Yukichi says that he looks familiar. I don't know from what. I looked at him to me. Maybe it's in another series. Anyway, then they come across a man there. He hasn't slept in like 3 days. Something like that. And he wants some water, but of course the merchant selling it, they want money, and he doesn't have any. But Usagi gives him his water bamboo container. He drinks, and then he tells them, everyone arrived, that they're all waiting. No one is sleeping, really, because they want to, they don't know when the mother will cry. So that they're all waiting there, Usagi and his party sit under a tree. They're eating, and they're amazed at the amount of people. And then, will it actually help? And Tabu said, of course it'll help. And Usagi asked, how do you have so much faith, Tabu? And he said, well, I have to, or else I'll die. And Asao says, and I will never walk again. I'll never be healthy. So they're sitting there. Dusk is approaching, and for some reason everyone's very tired all of a sudden. And they all start to fall asleep. Excuse me. Everyone falls asleep. Everyone has been waiting. And then night falls, and then Tabu wakes up suddenly, and he smells jasmine, and he thinks he hears someone calling him. And he looks everywhere, and everyone's asleep. And he approaches, and it's the statue calling him. He approaches, and he's amazed, and he's looking at the statue of the mother, and he said, oh, she's beautiful. And then she cries. And he's like, oh, I gotta get something. And he takes out a handkerchief, sort of. And he collects the tear, and he's so happy. He's like, and he runs, he's like, I gotta show Masa. And he arrives, and he's like, oh, Masa's gonna be so happy. And Usagi-san's gonna be so happy, and Yukichi's gonna be so happy. And then he gets to them, and he's like, and Aso, and then he remembers the reason Tabu needs these tears is because he's going to die. It's never specified from what exactly or what's he sick with, but he needs them. But Aso will probably never walk without them. And he's looking, and all of a sudden he's not so happy because he's looking at Aso and at the handkerchief, and they're like, I will live, but Aso will never get healthy. And then comes morning, and Aso is now leaning against the tree Usagi's sleeping against, and he's dead. He passed away at night. And Usagi wakes up, and Yokichi and Usagi's like, I can't believe I fell asleep like that. I really wanted to, see the tears. And everyone's waking up, and Masa's waking up, and then Usagi turns, and Yokichi, and they look at Tabu, and they can clearly tell that he's dead, and then Masa as well approaches, and he's like, Tabu. And, yeah. And then all of a sudden, Aso wakes up, and he starts crying, I can walk. And he's running around, like, look, I can walk. And then he notices that on his right leg, there's the handkerchief that had the tears of the mother on them. It's tied to his knee. And Masa looks, and he recognizes the handkerchief. Like, it belonged to Tabu. And he realized, because also, before that, Masa can't believe, because they were so close. They were already there, and still he lost his brother. And then Aso's running around, is happy, I'm healthy, I can walk, I can jump. And he's like, Tabu. He yells at him, he's like, why aren't you answering, Tabu? He comes closer, and I think he also realizes immediately, and that kind of last panel is him crying against Tabu's chest. And the other three standing there. And Usagi and Yokichi are standing. And Maso is kneeling on the ground and praying. Then we have an epilogue. We see Usagi and Yokichi walking. So a bit of something good. Masa is going to essentially adopt Aso and take care of him like a little brother. So at least he won't be left alone. And so something at least good came out of this. And I think Usagi says, well, Aso, Tabu is also going to be very, very happy from this, because they talk about, you saw how serene he was. And yeah, Tabu died smiling, because he knew that although he's going to die, Aso is going to grow up healthy and be able to walk. And still, yeah, it's very bittersweet, isn't it? But at least Aso will be left alone. And then Usagi tells Yokichi, sorry. Usagi tells Yokichi, I saw you talking a lot. Usagi. Tells Yokichi, I saw you talking to Masala. What were you talking about? And Yokichi said, he's telling me about his religion, about Christianity. And Usagi asks, well, what do you think? And Yokichi looks at him and says, I think I won't be stepping on any, like in the last issue to pass the checkpoint, the first real one, they had to step on the, like a tablet of the mother in order to pass. So he said, I don't think I'll be stepping on a tablet like that anymore. And that's it. That's where the comic ends. It was very bittersweet. Now, another thing that makes it even more sad, even more bittersweet, is that Mr. Sakai based Tabu on his real-life younger brother. Mr. Sakai has, there's three brothers. He's got his older brother, he's the middle brother, and he had a younger brother who was born prematurely. It's all in the end of the comic, and he, basically as a result of that, he had mental difficulties, developmental ones. So, went, I didn't say went to special school, but anyway, he based Tabu on him. And even on because his brother's middle name was Tadashi, and a nickname for that is Tabo. That's what he named the character, and based a lot of him on his brother. How he loved to walk a lot, and he was always kind and had a nice smile. His brother actually passed away last year. It's set into 2024. So yeah, that's really sweet, but also really, really sad. Yeah. Alright, so cover. It's a really, it's a nice one. You see kind of Usagi and Yokichi being shocked. Holy shit, she's crying. It's real. I think the mother purposefully done that in the story. And everyone fell asleep and gave the tears to Tabo. And he himself chose to help Asao instead of himself. But the alternative cover, the B one's also very nice. It got Usagi like walking away. It would have been even cooler if they drew Tabo, like, walking away. There's that. Now for the art. You see, there's there's Tabo. You see, Asao is on his knees, on his shoulders. Sorry, writing. You see, there's that checkpoint, and there's the leader of the bandits. And then there's some more. Because, again, a lot of people just avoided the first checkpoint by going around, basically. And, yeah, here, let me show you the cover. The B cover. You can see it's very nice. Should have been Tabo there, though. Just a moment. And there it is. There's Kenneth. That's his brother's name. So that's Kenneth. There in the hat, and that's Mr. Sakai. It's very sweet, and also really sad. Hey, yeah, that made the story even more emotional. I mean, Tabo himself as a character, you only have 2 issues with him. You already immediately like him, so it's just, oh, why did he have to die? Well, he chose to. Let Aso grow up healthy. He was a very good soul. Well, that's it. That was the story. And as you can see, it was also split. We got the first 3 issues with the Demon Fox Lady, and then these 2 with Tabo. Which, basically got the other way around. If the Fox Demon Lady met someone like Tabo who would have helped her, gave her some plums, almost what happened wouldn't have happened. But there you go. They had a whole village of indifferent people because they have so much and they just look out for themselves. And then you have one Tabo. One man who gives up his life to help a kid grow up healthy. So, you never know what you'll come across in life. Alright, folks, so that is it. Let me know what you thought of Usagi Yojimbo 10,000 Plums. And remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!